Hello, hola, and buenas, buenas. Welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana, a podcast made with love. Tonight, we'll take you live and direct into the LA Galaxy's post-match press conference after the 1-1 first-leg draw against Sporting San Miguelito in the CONCACAF Champions Cup. We'll get to hear from Greg and his thoughts about the tie after the presser. Keep it locked with us because we'll bring you our instant reactions to the away stalemate. We'll break down everything from the formation and lineup to who showed well and what we took away from the match. Plus, we'll bring you a mini match preview for the Galaxy's MLS home opener on Sunday, February 22nd against NYCFC. Spin that track. G's up.
Yeah. Let's get it started with a new year, new me. Cuna Galaxiana still reporting on the news feed, yeah. And you know who it be, the 6 star from the jersey, putting work in the league. Word on the street, we rip teams immaculately. We see the players come and go, but I'm forever a G. And you can catch me yelling tactics on the field when I leave. Get it together like I'm Vanney when I'm giving a speech. Back to the pitch, score goals, dribbling tricks. I heard a transfer window rumor, let me see who it is. I got statistics on the player, puzzle pieces that fit. Con este show que es tan bilingüe que tu papi lo ve. Rápido pues, hablando de este club otra vez. En las buenas y en las malas, we got love for the crest, love for LA. Let's get it started, light up the stage. Every week on Monday night I'm tuning into the place. Yeah, you know what it is. It's La Cuna Galaxiana, 4th season, Rob Ananda. And my name, ya te lo sabes.
Welcome back to La Cuna Galaxiana. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Jalan, and right now we're going to take you live to the press conference.
For joining us for the LA Galaxy press conference post-game. We're here with our head coach, LA Galaxy head coach, Greg Vanney. For those of you who are joining us on the Zoom, please make sure to raise your hand. We're going to start with questions on the Zoom first. So our first question is going to come from Jim Alexander.
Hey, Coach. How satisfied are you coming out?
Go ahead, Jim.
Yeah. Can you hear me? Hey, Coach.
Jim.
How satisfied are you with the result, given the circumstances, the long trip, and just kind of doing this midweek? And were you going for the win, or were you sort of satisfied just hoping to just get that point and get that draw and take it back to LA?
Yeah, I mean, our goal was to try to leave here with an advantage.
Having some audio difficulty, guys. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I know Greg's speaking right now.
We were at the end still trying to push for
let's see
to try to score more goals. We weren't trying to necessarily
Sorry
shut
about
it
that,
down.
guys. First time doing
but
this,
I felt
so
like towards the end of the game,
try to see
I felt like,
if I
it's our
can
first game as a group, and
get some audio here.
I felt like some of the guys who had been playing the longer stretch of the game were starting to get a little bit tired, heavy travel, whatever you want to call it. So I felt like we were starting to make some poor decisions, losing some balls, then having to defend some counterattacks that were coming pretty fast. That costs a lot of energy and recovery. So
there you go.
It was always to come here to try to give ourselves an advantage going back home. What that advantage looks like just depends on the game and the context and how it works out. And in terms of the end, we just need to be smart, down the stretch as you try to go get more goals without exposing yourself and giving away opportunities to the opposition. We did have to defend some tough situations down the end, especially some free kicks, corner kicks into our box, things like that, because of some of the carelessness that was existing, I think, in some of our attacks, some of our choices, things like that.
Thank you, Jim. Our next question is going to come from Anthony Batista.
Hey, Greg, thanks for your time. My question is about the starting lineup for tonight. More particularly, what did you think of the combination of Nascimento and Ramirez? What were some of the things you like to see from them? And what were some of the things you think they can improve on? Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, they played together in one of the games in preseason and had a pretty good combination. We as you know, we have 4 games in 10 days this week, so we're trying to also utilize all of our guys. I thought at times, I think the combination was okay. I think, to be honest, in the first half especially, and at times the game was just too slow. The tempo was too slow for us in possession and when we were on the ball, and it just allowed them to put numbers behind the ball consistently, clog up things. And so it's sometimes difficult to play off of your forwards. And so there's plenty of things that I think they did all right at, but there's obviously it was just difficult because it was just so dense at times for us to be able to find them. And then we've got to put balls into dangerous areas more often and give our forwards a chance to get on the end of things. Sometimes we were too content just kind of passing and not finishing attacks and giving our forwards a chance in and around the goal. So again, we got through it. It was an exercise in, again, giving ourselves an advantage, and we had to manage sort of the bigger picture this week as well.
Thank you so much. Our next question is going to come from Rob Halone.
Hey, Greg. Thanks so much. Can everyone hear me okay?
Yes.
Thanks so much, Greg. Quite a few players made their debut today. What did you think of Justin Hack and Jakob Glesnes? And then Klaus in the second half certainly brought the team a different look. Thank you.
Yeah, I mean, look, I should have started this off, and I'll do the San Miguelito they're a good team. They battled hard. They have some very good individual players out there that in the duels were fantastic. We knew that was going to be the situation. They certainly made the night very difficult. Their setup and then their speed in transition and things like that. So a lot of credit to them as well for the battle of tonight. They've got a good group, and we've got our work cut out for us going home. So I should have started there. Second, as far as the guys that got a debut, again, I think it's important. Every opportunity to get out there is an opportunity to settle inside of what it is we want to try to do. With Justin in particular, he played in the midfield tonight. So it's a space that we want to use him. He can also play in the back. So I think, again, getting his connection with Eddie or eventually Elijah, Lucas, whoever he spends time in there, eventually Marco, things like that, just him getting connected with the vision of what we want to do and how he can be successful inside of that. So every opportunity is an opportunity. Conditions challenging. So it was, he grinded through some of it, and we know he's going to have a really busy week ahead of us because Eddie is unavailable for Sunday. So as far as Jacob, again, there's, that he and Maya hadn't played together a ton during preseason. We're managing Emmy a little bit for this game, and those two had played more in preseason together. So he and Maya together haven't had a ton of time. They had a lot of time on the ball in the first half. So again, getting him used to on the ball types of things for us is going to be important because that's not really what he came from. So settling in with his choices, decisions, but you can see he can spray the ball around the field, hit balls across the field. He's got some nice range. Defensively, made some good stops, things like that. There's some things for all of our guys that we need to continue to improve upon because it's the first game of the year. But it was good. And when Zhao came on, he's a handful. He's powerful, strong. Got himself into the potential penalty in the moment because he gets on the right side of the defender. If you're us, gets driving. So, but again, for him, it's the same thing. It's how we can involve him in more of our actions and find him in the box. So these are the things that these guys are going to continue to settle in with our group. But it's good to get our season started and good to get guys out on the field together. Every repetition matters.
And there was some good combination play in the first half, really early. What did you think about the intensity from the teams coming out of the gate? And then do you feel maybe that there was something left on the table there early? Thank you, Greg.
Yeah, again, I felt like we had some good actions early in the half. I think, tactically, if you want to look at it, they didn't drop as many numbers low at the beginning of the game. They played a little more straight up and we were able to find some combinations and some spaces. As we started to do that and we didn't take advantage of the situations that we created, they started to obviously throw some numbers a little lower and try to clog some more things up. And then I felt like we became stagnant and we stopped moving and we stopped interchanging and doing any actions that would create sort of, collaborative movements, third man runs, third man actions, things like that. We got very stagnant ahead of the ball, and it became a game where we didn't finish many attacks after that. So again, we look forward to everything for us. Just to get to our game needs to be faster. The buildup needs to be faster. Our movement needs to be better. So these are things we've got to improve upon as we continue to move forward into the season.
Thank you to those of us who joined us online. We're going to transition to questions in the room.
Good evening, Coach. Samuel McCollin para RPC Radio y Bitácora Deportiva. Coach, tonight the team wasn't able to find enough space to try to make a more direct game with more precision. Was it the type of match that you expected from your opponent, knowing that in the previous tournament there were more offensive behavior prior to the qualification? Thanks.
Yeah, I don't, yes and no. I mean, I think teams in general would like to stay more proactive, keep numbers a little higher if they feel like they can defend in that situation and they can afford to keep some numbers higher. I felt like early in the first half, when they were trying to stay more 4-4-2, we were able to get in behind them a little bit, get into some dangerous areas. And I felt like that kind of their action or their reaction to that, I felt like, was to drop some more numbers lower and to try to clog things up. So they might have wanted to stay a little more advanced and proactive, but they got away with being able to put numbers low, clogging things up, and then playing us on the counter as things progressed. Because again, we got stagnant. We stopped moving. We stopped, the speed of the game just really got slowed down. So we've got to be better at doing that. They did a great job of being able to slow us down, but we've got to do a better job of keeping the tempo of the game up. Our mobility has to be better. Our interchanging has to be better. And also in some of our transition moments, we didn't play forward very quickly. We kind of, when we won the ball, we more times than not, we just secured the ball, went into a very slow attack. So again, this is a team early on who I think needs to continue to grow and evolve, and played in a tough place against a team that did a nice job of adapting inside of the game and making it difficult.
The last one.
Hi, Greg. Welcome to Panama, first of all. About Armando Cooper, my question is, a player that you know very well, with 38 years old, is very important with Sporting.
Yeah.
I think that you met very well Armando. No?
Yeah, Armando, he spent 1.5 years with us in Toronto. First, he's a gentleman and a wonderful person and human being. I loved our time with him. Second, as a player, and you saw it in the amount of minutes that he had on the field. His ability to protect the ball and use physicality against you is incredible. And you saw 2 of our players think that they could win the ball off of him when he has it, and then he just spins them and he turns, and now the game is going forward when it should be facing backwards. And so he was always very good with that. We had really good teams in Toronto, and Armando was a big part of those teams. Again, he's one of the best players that I've coached at being able to manage pressure and physicality on the ball and still make an attack happen. And so, again, you saw it tonight. At 38 years old, he doesn't look like he's 38. He's still playing the same game he played when he was probably 27 or 28 with us. But it was great to see him because I haven't seen him over the years. I know he connects with my kids sometimes on Instagram, but I'm not really an Instagram guy, so I don't connect with him. But it was great to see him. I look forward to seeing him again, and we got to do a good job of containing him because he's the guy who can create some challenges for us out there. Yeah, thank you.
Great. That concludes our press conference. Thank you all so much for joining.
Thanks, everyone.
All right. You just heard thoughts from our head coach, Greg Vanney, in a 1-1 tie between Sporting San Miguelito and the LA Galaxy, the first away leg in the CCC campaign for the Galaxy. Again, goals by Rodrigo Teo in the first half, and then countered back to a Joseph Paintsill goal there in the 67th minute. I am going to bring Rob back here on stage from the presser. Papa? Hey, you're on mute. You're on mute.
So
there you
profesh, so profesh.
It's all good, man. This is like the first rodeo of doing this thing. By the way, like your audio on the presser, like you sound like you're in an echo chamber, and I know you're not. You're in your little studio, that your home office.
Yeah, no, it was really weird because I couldn't mute the audio from the podcast stream, and then I also had the audio from the presser going live, and they were like just a little bit off from each other. Oh man, it was wild. I was like, man, this is a trippy experience. But no, I mean, guys, it's 1-1 after full time, and Anna was breaking it down for you guys. Honestly, I mean, there's only one thing to get to right here and right now. It's a one-word reaction. I mean, we haven't said hi or introduced ourselves, but let's get to this one reaction real quick, and then we'll come back to that.
Yeah, for sure.
After hearing Greg, Ananda, and kind of hearing his thoughts on the match and seeing how it unfolded. What are you thinking? What's the one-word reaction?
I'll give you two. Bare minimum. I said it coming into the game. I thought that was probably the bare minimum result that this team needed. I am neither overly disappointed nor overly happy. I'm somewhere in between because I know this is a two-legged affair, but this was the bare minimum, and that's all I could say about this game. The performance wasn't overly convincing. We did enough. And again, look, at the end of the day, all I care about is advancing to the next round, right? So if this away goal gets us there, then the bare minimum is going to help achieving our goal, which is getting to the next round of this competition. That's all I care about, because I'm actually putting a little more stock into this NYCFC game, which we'll talk about in a little bit, because like I said, this is a tone setter for the MLS season, a 34 game season. And this one just needed the bare minimum to get the result. Again, I am somewhere in between. I'm not overly disappointed, but I'm not losing my stuff, but I'm also not overly pleased either.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna say I was surprised. I mean, my one word's expected. Ever since we spoke to Charles Boehm and he called it the banana peel game, and then we started talking about, is this gonna be a trap game? And seeing these young lads from Sporting San Miguelito being young, hungry, and just going for it, right? We knew that was going to happen. I was like, this has the makings of a trap game all over it. However, at least it wasn't as bad as last year, where they actually dropped that tie or that first sag in that tie to Herediano outright. This one, they rescue and mind, this is one of those competitions that away goals still matters. So they picked up a valuable away goal. So anyway, that's, like I said, expected is my one-word reaction. Since we didn't say it at the top of the show, because we went right to the press conference. Yes, welcome back to Laguna Galaxiana Season 4. I'm one of your co-hosts, Rob Halon. You can find my written work at the Sporting Tribune. One of my colleagues, Anthony Bautista, was in there. He's probably hard at work doing the game recap right now, so go ahead and show him some love and go ahead and read. It's good for you. And since I'm here, you know that my co-host Anandita Kirana is here. And yeah, man, we've already gotten your one-word reaction, but what's the wait worth it? I guess I'll ask you that question. We've waited a long time for a first Galaxy game of the season. We've talked about it ad nauseum. So was the wait worth it?
Anticlimactic, wasn't it? It wasn't a pretty game at all. Nah. I didn't enjoy watching that game. I think the players were kind of struggling. I mean, that ball was zipping, man. That ball was zipping through the pitch. Remember, they ended up playing in the 2,000 to 3,000 person stadium, right? So it was that artificial turf instead of natural grass, and the ball was zippy, man. It was bouncing all over the place. I remember there was a play in the first half that JP was running down the throat of that left back in the early stages and got a shot off, and there was I called it on, so I was on Talking Galaxy, shout out Peyton and those guys. I was on their watch along, and I called it EAFC 26. It was literally FC 26. That whole 2-minute sequence in the box. So the ball was going everywhere. I was like, what is going on with this glitch right now? This ball is not where it's supposed to be.
Laguna Matata has been on the other end of those kind of calls frequently on EAFC. What is this game called? The
FC 26.
Yeah, FC 26, man. Yeah, I know what you're saying, man. I was in the living room just in awe that somehow that ball did not sneak over the line. Well, we heard directly from Greg in that press conference. I asked him what he thought of the newbies, and well, Ananda, let me ask you. What did you think of Greg's assessment of the newbies?
Yeah, I think the assessment of Jakob was spot on, man. That guy's class. I think he and JP were my players of the match that stuck out. I mean, you could just see the composure, just diffusing every situation, diffusing in every counter. There was a couple breaks in the first half, even the second half as well. But man, you could just see he's a pro's pro, right, Rob? cool,
Yeah.
calm, composed, and maybe that's what Greg was looking for in this away leg. Some experienced veteran heads in the back line in the form of Jakub Glesnes and Maya Yoshida. Jakub definitely impressed me today. I think he's going to be, like I said, man, we've got to wrap this guy up in cotton wool. Like he looks like the real deal. He really does. Even just one game. I know I may be overreacting, but from what I saw, he just looks so cool and composed. Justin Hack, some nice tackles, but didn't notice him much. I mean, I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. Like, we're instantly reacting right now. So I didn't notice him much. Had a couple nice challenges. Like you could see he's a guy that can get stuck in, but I didn't really see like his passing range necessarily. Like he didn't really get to exercise his
Saw it more from Glesnes, actually.
I agree. Like there was a lot more we were playing a lot of switches. I noticed from center backs, both Maya and Glesnes. We were trying to hit our wingers there, JP and Peck, in certain situations, especially with that crossfield ball. So, I didn't see much of Hack. And again, I don't know if that's a bad thing or a good thing. But I guess we'll just wait and see, right? Especially in the home opener and these games coming up. That's probably why you heard Greg. He wanted to pull him off at a certain time and give him the break there. He's got a lot of games coming up that he's got to be a part of. Who else did he talk about? Just those two, right? Or Klaus?
Yeah.
Look, I thought Klaus. I even said it. I even said it on the stream with Peyton. Like, did he mean that flick? Like, if he meant that flick to JP, that's a super nice flick. Like on the half turn, like balls fizzing at you, and he literally just like if it flicked off his toe. Like I was looking at the replay, flicked off his toe and like got into JP's path, and JP like scored it. So if he meant that. I don't think he did, but bro,
no. Here's what he did mean. He knew exactly where JP was, and he
pinned the guy.
He put his body in the way to make the space for him.
That's
so
right.
even if he didn't put anything on the ball, he knew like he was instrumental in making that space, and that's what you're going to get from Klaus. I think this year he's going to be that body that's going to be able to create space. I've said it a bunch of times. I mean, I thought it was going to be the reverse. Like, there was going to be space for him to operate in. No, but he's going to create the space. Like his physical presence is going to draw fools in, and then that's going to make room for Gabriel Pecky and Joseph Paint. So I don't think, we're going to talk about this later. I don't think NYCFC is going to be a similar type of match to Sporting San Miguelito.
Not at all. Not at all.
But and then so we're gonna get to see like a truer version of the Galaxy, I think. But anyway, Ananda, you've already kind of singled out Glesnes and JP. Are those your stock up players for this match?
Yeah, I think JP. I really like what I saw from JP early. Rob, he looked like a man possessed out there. Like he wanted to beat his man every single time. And I thought, like this is a good omen for the G's. Like, if he can consistently do that, like I feel like I use the word it's not like he didn't do it last year. He just didn't do it enough. Like we didn't see enough of that aggressive JP, and he really, he has bags of speed, man. So he really needs to use that to his advantage. And he was on his bike early in the first half. Unfortunately, as Greg talked about, even in the presser, we didn't convert enough of those chances. And the more that happened, the longer that game went on, San Miguelito was going to find ways to counteract what we were doing early in the first half, right? So, yeah, JP was very good today. Like I said, Jakub Glesnes, I think he impressed me, man. He's got to be in that center back partnership rotation, or he's got to be in that starting 11 for me.
Who did you think needed to show a little bit more? I mean,
well, actually,
I definitely have mine, but I mean, I don't want to be a hater. I don't want to be salty.
Before we get to that, though, do you agree on the stock up, on the G's up?
Yeah, I really liked Glesnes, and I really liked JP. Obviously, I'm actually gonna say I liked Maya's game. Like he was pretty solid throughout.
Yeah, I didn't notice him much, which is probably a good thing.
Yeah, Nelson as well. He actually got stuck in on a tackle like that. The Miguelito player like went down in a heap. I was like, oh, okay, John Nelson. We had a G talking about Marcinkowski earlier, in chat about how they never wanted to see him play again, but I actually thought him coming out for that one play and like that diving header was kind of rad. I was like, would Mitrovic have done that? I don't know. So I don't know. Yeah, I agree with that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, I don't want to be that guy, but you know, I said last year in our recaps and everything like that, winding down the year, that you know, I didn't believe that we saw enough from Nascimento. I don't think we saw enough from him again today. He had a couple chances. I asked Greg about those chances early. Whether they left something on the table.
Well, I had a really good chance in the first 10 minutes. Just whiffed it.
Absolutely. You know, and so I mean, you know, y'all heard Greg. I mean, he answered the affirmative. So it's one of those things where you know you gotta bury the chances that you get, because this team isn't going to make that as many chances as Galaxy fans are used to. This is a team that needs a creator, and I mean, again, Ricky Puig isn't there, so that creator should be Marco Reus. But when he came on, he was kind of anonymous. Before that, you know, there was no real ball progression or real threat in the attack. I mean, and so when you get those good combination or link-up plays, you got to take your chances. And so that's why, and so that's why, you know, like there was a couple of plays as well where, you know, he got dispossessed, and I was like, you know, it's one game, give him the benefit of the doubt, you know, like, and you know, it's he has till June to come good. So, you know, just give him the mulligan. But yeah, that's for me is the one.
I'm going to add another Brazilian on there. And for me, it's Gabriel Peck. Had so many good looks. This is the same problem. I think that the same issue that he encountered last year. Papa got in some really nice positions, had some nice combinations with Mauricio Cuevas on the right. Just couldn't finish the final action, right? Just couldn't finish it. Whether it was a bobble here, couldn't get past his man, or got a shot blocked. I don't know. Like it just didn't happen for him. I don't think he had a terrible game, but it just didn't happen for him. And for a guy that's a DP, you expect for him to be at the end of things, right? You expect for him to be the finisher of those chances along with JP and Klaus. So I think just based on expectation, I think Peck deserved a goal. I need to look at his stats, his final stat sheet, but he definitely had a few shots in the box on target, whether they were blocked or just couldn't get at the end of it. By the way, probably one of the worst free kicks I've ever seen in the second half. That was not in the highlight reel for sure. But yeah, Gabriel Peck, I hope he gets on the score sheet and back on his bike on Sunday.
Well, there's all to talk about, and in regard, you know, to who actually was on the field. You know, let's go ahead and start where we usually start, and that is with the starting lineup. I called this the heart lineup because that's what it looks like to me. It looks like a little heart right there. And the other thing that jumped out at me is that there's a gaping hole in the midfield right there, just like tons of space. And then I thought that before the match, and then I actually saw it play out in real time, and I was like, yeah, it's actually there, and the gaping hole in the field. But Ananda, what jumped out to you about this lineup, about this formation? What are you thinking?
That I wasn't as crazy as you thought I was the other night when we were doing the stream. That's number one. And then number two, that Greg is probably crazier than me because he picked a much rotated different lineup than I did. I mean, he put Christian Ramirez as the other forward. Again, I had Joao Klaus, and then he opted for Maya Yoshida as that center back partner on top of JT Marcinkowski, right? So, and then he went with Glesnes. I think I put Hack in the center back rotation, but again, we knew Carrillo was going to start, so he was either going to partner with Hack or Sanabria, which we saw in the second half. But look, I thought the 4-2-4 press, like I said, that 4-man press, I was really paying close attention to it the first half. Look, in that first half, Rob, I don't know, I counted like 2 or 3 situations where we turned the ball. We made them turn the ball over in their own half. We just couldn't finish it. We couldn't get at the end of it. That's the problem. Like when you have those chances, I think Charlie Boehm said it the other day. It's like the old Klopp adage, right? Like the press is your best number 10 or something like that. it's your best chance creator. It definitely was in the first half for the Galaxy. We just couldn't finish our dinner. And how many times did we say that last year? Too many,
All the time.
unfortunately. Yeah,
all the time. So did you actually like this? I mean, when you said like, oh, he's gonna try the two strikers up the top, and I was like, man, Nate told me that's not happening, and then he actually did. But now that you actually saw it, do you think it worked? Do you think it created enough? Do you think it gave the balance that the team needed?
I like the balance, because I think even you admitted like the balance going the other way. I mean, thank God for Glesnes for some of those situations, but we diffused enough of those situations. Again, the goal, we can talk about that later, but that was just a lapse of concentration and bad communication between the players, and those things need to get cleaned up as the season goes on. But remember what you told me, Pa? Like you told me, well, let me remind you, when we were going through the lineups, you told me, and these were your words, I'm not mad at the personnel. So when I look at this lineup, I say, I'm a little mad at the personnel, because like for me, I think this system works much better when you have a pressing forward like Joao Klaus on top of what you talked about with putting his body around, being a target on the offensive end. Again, you saw it on the goal. He knew how to pin the guy down. And I feel like a 4-man press with Joao Klaus up top would be a little bit more functional into doing what Greg wants it to do. Now, I understand the rotation. I understand that we're trying to save legs and minutes. I totally get that. So that's my only gripe with this. I wasn't mad at them formation. I even said it the other day on the stream. Like, I wouldn't be surprised or mad if Greg goes with the 4-4-2. But the thing that disappointed me just a little bit was the personnel.
Yeah, no, I'm actually surprised by it as well. I could see Maya coming in. I mean, I didn't expect Christian to get
wasn't too bothered about that, actually. Yeah.
But the one that kind of threw me for a loop is JT, baby.
Yeah.
JT Marcinkowski. I mean,
what do you think, Pa? Look good?
Yeah, I actually liked him. I mean, I don't think it was his fault on the goal. Late, he almost had a gaff, like one of those real bad ones. I don't know if you caught it, but like he almost just gave the ball to a Sporting San Miguelito player. I think that was a lack of communication, obviously. But I mean, the other day I was doing some research for this game, and I read somebody's projected Galaxy starting 11, and they actually listed Marcinkowski as well. And I was like, huh, that's funny. I wonder if they know, that Mitrovic is the established number one. And today, it's kind of not so established, I guess. So, Ananda, do we have Goalie Wars Part 3 on our hands? Should JT be starting? I don't know. What do you think?
I think, well, we'll go to our predictions for the lineup for Sunday, but I not to give too much away, but look, I think Mitrovic is going to be the keeper in the league, and I think JP is going to be the CCC keeper, at least for now. That's the way I see it.
Yeah, so I mean, you can substitute you can call him JP with you can call him JT. Exactly, man. No,
hey, but GCam says JT at the end, like you said, Pa. That could have been curtains. That could have been bad. That could have been bad.
That could have been sit you behind on the bench for the rest of the season.
That could have been 2025 Galaxy all over again.
Oh, Jesus, that would have been terrible. But no, it didn't come to pass, thankfully. And aside from that, I think he looked away. I think he looked all right. So, but yeah, no, I think you're right. I think it's Mitrovic in the league, JT in the cup, and for as long as that happens. But yeah, no, I did think it was interesting. I was like, huh, I really did think Mitrovic was going to get the start just because they also have Sunday, and need him sharp and stuff like that. But yeah, that was a surprise to me. But I actually, aside from those 15-20 minutes, Ananda, that they created a bunch of chances, I thought they fell off a little bit in the rest of the first half. I thought the rest of the first half was a little flat. But then, once Greg made changes in the second half, I think they kind of sparked more to life. And for you, what a juicy change in the second half.
Greg talked about tempo in that post-match presser. He talked about the intensity of the way the ball was moving, and he agreed with you, like what you're saying with it, which is the tempo dropped as the first half waned, especially as it got to the middle late stages. And of course, he talked about in the post-match presser too that, you know, San Miguelito reverted back a little bit more. They started plugging in the gaps that the Galaxy were exposing early. And I even said it on Peyton's stream. I was like, hey, like the more the Galaxy don't finish off their chances, the more nervy this game is going to be, because San Miguelito is only one counter away, one defensive lapse away from scoring a goal, and that happened, right? Like someone mentioned in the chat, Edwin he turned his head and he let the defender through. But no, in the second half, man, like I think the key to this Galaxy team is just like a good rhythm for their passing with intensity, not being stagnant, people moving for each other. Like there was a lot of stagnant moments. Not saying that like Sanabria, Royce, and Klaus like brought that extra movement, but the ball was just zipping a lot more. And I don't know if that was due to tiredness, due to maybe just a little bit of a lack of rhythm, or I don't know what it was. Maybe it was the elements. Not sure.
Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I just thought that the ball just got zippier. But look, I'm gonna be honest, man. It got nervy like in those last 10 minutes. Like how many corners do we have to defend? Emi Garces gave a silly free kick away, and this is one of the things about Emi that we always talk about, right? It's like discipline, that the mental part of the game, as especially as a center back, the composure. That's something that I hope he picks up from Jakob and Maya. That's something that he really got to work out for his game, because that could have been bad. Like you face an opposition a la who was that in the Campeones Cup? Toluca, right? You know, you get those extra possessions and free kicks, and players with quality are going to burn you on those dead ball opportunities. So that could have been bad. So I think that's something Emi's got to learn. But yeah, man, it was okay in the middle part of the second half, but I feel like the Galaxy just like faded away again toward the end of the second half, and we're just like, okay, guys, let's just go to the locker room, 1-1, let's fly home.
Yeah,
and get out of here with a 1-1 draw.
Greg pretty much said it. They were tired. They were beat. I mean, Nightmare here says, I want to thank Vancouver Whitecaps for yesterday and lowering the bar so today's results don't look bad. I mean, I'm gonna be honest, it still looks bad. I mean,
yeah,
this wasn't a bad Sporting San Miguelito team. I mean, they're to be respected, and definitely there's some good players there, but still there should be enough on this Galaxy team to go ahead and put away this team. It just there was no execution on the offensive end. We do have a super chat from El Hermano G Cam.
Shout out G Cam.
We want to say thank you so much for that. Hopefully we see you somewhere around on Sunday at the Digs. Mind you, there is tons going around, tons happening, bands, hardcore shows. God, I hope we run into you. GCam, thank you so much. SMH at the result, but also to you.
Damn, GCam, you got the opera version there. That was fire. Real quick, commercial underground version. Commercial Underground asked Greg had a post-game interview. Yeah, we actually, when we came on live commercial, we went straight to the presser, so we had to go right there. If you, maybe after the stream, or if you want to do it now, go ahead and rewind back and go to the beginning of the video, and you should see the Greg's presser there for about, I don't know, 10, 12 minutes, something like that. So
yeah, and that's something that we're going to be doing pretty regularly. So
yeah, if you guys like that, let us know, and we'll do more of it. But hopefully that access was good for you guys, and you can hear the presser live and direct.
Yeah, to the point that they keep on letting us do it, we'll go ahead and try to do that. Of course, we also do that for absolutely every home match. We go ahead and bring you that press conference live and direct just minutes after full time at the Digs.
Yeah,
when we go into the bows at the Digs. But yeah, guys, if you are in chat, go ahead and hit that sub, because then you'll know when we're going live and stuff like that from the Digs and have these press conferences. But yeah, thank you guys for being here. So Ananda, overall, I said at the top, it was expected, right? I didn't think, based on what is happening right now in the moment, like how many games they have, they were going to I think I phrased it wrong for Greg the other day, because I was like, hey Greg, like you have a bunch of games coming up, you probably can't play the exact starting 11 you would want to play if there was no other games around. Like, you have a game in 3 days, so you have to play one match, one lineup, right? And I think he kind of maybe took it the wrong way, or like, maybe I didn't say it the wrong way, but yeah, no, it was more like, if you have one match, on Saturday, and then your next match isn't until the next Saturday, you're obviously going to, maybe give that guy a run out that can go for like 60, 70 minutes versus, if you have a game in 3 days, maybe you won't risk that guy because you need him in that next game, So, I think that it was expected because we knew who was injured. We knew who was suspended for the next match, and so as a consequence was going to play here. What was a surprise was a little bit more of the formation and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, it was pretty much the kind of game that I thought we were going to see. There were some moments of good play, but it's like Greg said, it's a team that's still kind of finding its rhythm. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, Ananda, because they have had some time together. But you know what? Let's break down the deets on this one, man. I know you were hard at work right up until we went live, getting some factoids together. So hook us up.
Yeah, so here's the final box score, guys, for the underlying stats. So 68 Galaxy in blue, by the way. San Miguelito in the black there on the left. So again, if you look at the stats, Papa, the Galaxy dominated this game, but how many times have we said this storyline, which we'll talk about in a little bit? 68% possession, 232, 2.05 expected goals for the Galaxy to 0.32 for San Miguelito. And of course, they score with less than 1 XG. 18 total shots for the Galaxy, 3 on target. And you know what? San Miguelito also had 3 shots on target, but only on 5 shots. So again, not getting enough clean looks in the final third when the Galaxy entered into the final third. 1 big chance each. I'm sure that was the header as well as the JP goal in the box there. Passes, again, and not a surprise, almost 90% pass accuracy for the Galaxy. 10 fouls for San Miguelito to Galaxy's 8 corners for the Galaxy, 4 for San Miguelito, which honestly, I felt like all of them were at the end of the second half when the Galaxy were holding on for that 1-1 result. So again, like you look at that and you say on paper, the Galaxy should have dominated this game. But the big stat for me is when I see 18 total shots, like I need to see 5, 6, 7, 8 on target. 3 is just, it's not enough for what you want, especially with the quality that you have, especially in that Galaxy front line, right? So again, I think the thing that was missing was the clinical edge in the final third. And I talked about the storyline that we've always talked about. Like, how many times have we heard that all of last season for the LA Galaxy? So I'm hoping that turns around at home and with some home cooking with a natural grass pitch, right? At Disney Health Sports Park on Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, these things are, yes, they do matter. Like the pitch conditions, they matter. Like, but yes, again, like this team had 2 XG, man. They had 60+% possession. Like they should have done more with it, man. It's bottom line, right? And it's I think Greg knows that. I think he kind of said that, right? Like, but yes, the tie is still up in the air. The Galaxy have all to play for when they go back home and face Sporting San Miguelito. I believe that match is on Wednesday.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah,
8 o'clock
on
kickoff.
Yeah, we'll be there at the digs to watch that one right alongside with you. So Ananda, before we move on here from the sports leg match at Sporting San Miguelito and head to our NYCFC preview, who was your defending the badge winner? And you're going first because I went first last time.
Okay, so then you're doing the prediction first. Just remember that, chat.
I did predictions first last show.
Well, no, but I'm going first now, so that's like we have to alternate kind of thing.
All right, cool.
No, I think for me it's Jakob Lesnes. Like I said, he was my G's up. He was literally defending the badge. Like he was calm, and composed. Like he was the real deal, like as advertised. And I'm looking forward to see more of him. I hope he starts again on Sunday. He played, I'm just trying to look here. He played 67 minutes. So, yep, not bad. I expect him to start at NYCFC for sure.
For me, is Juan Nelson. I really liked his game.
Really?
I really like the fact that we didn't have to call him out for hey man, look at Nelson is messing up. Like, no, he had a solid match. And not only that, man, he got stuck in on a couple of tackles, and and not only did he get stuck in on a couple of tackles, he got up like a G he is, man. So shout out to him. That's literally what giving the badge, defending the badge is for me, like putting everything into every play, getting stuck in for those tackles. I know that they hurt, but this cat was going into every single one of them like it didn't matter. So for me, defending the badge.
What's funny is I don't even I expect that from John Nelson. Like every time he's a 6 and 7 every single time. I've said this multiple times about John. You're going to get a professional, hardworking, gritty, determined performance from John every single time. And that's why he's such a valuable piece for this team. It's funny that he's you're saying it's a defending the badge, but it's I just maybe it's
did you already expect it?
I just expect it. That's the guy that I expect, and at that left back position, he's really solid, man. I'm really happy he's on this team. But yeah, I think, look, Rob, the less said about this game, the better. I think this is one of those things where once we advance like Herediano last year, once we advance into the next round and go further into competition, this is like one of those games where hopefully we will forget about. So there you go.
Yeah, and they have the opportunity to wipe everything away on Wednesday and to a certain extent on Sunday as well, right? Because they can go out and people. I mean, if they go out on Sunday and they either tie or lose, people are gonna be like, oh well, that's 2 ties in a row. What's going on? But if they go out and they do their thing on Sunday, then all that gets wiped away. Which brings us to Sunday. Zags of final. Streets will not forget. No, they will never. They will never. I like it. Streets, Zags, I think this is the first time I've seen you in chat. Quality debut. Message right there. That's a banger. But yeah. Let's go ahead and break into our LA Galaxy versus NYCFC preview, guys. Of course, you guys know this one happens on Sunday, February 22nd. As your LA Galaxy will host NYCFC at the Digs to kick off the regular season. Yes, another season of MLS is upon us. NYCFC currently has the head-to-head edge with the Galaxy with a 4-3-0 record, though the Galaxy have won the last 2 meetings, including a 2-0 win on June 19th, 2024 in that championship year. Oh, how lovely. At the Digs, the Galaxy holds a 3-2-0 edge over NYCFC, and that's punctuated by a massive 5-1 win in that inaugural matchup, the first time those two teams met in 2015. There have been no draws in the last 7 head-to-head meetings between the two teams, so expect there to be goals, expect there to be a winner as well. Galaxy fans, do you have a favorite son coming back? Todd Donovan returns to the Digs, and this time he's as an opponent as he comes back as the sporting director for NYCFC. But it's kind of on the other side as well. Justin Hack will play against his old team for the first time. And he actually told us he was really, really excited about it. He has a lot of friends that's still there. So looking forward to that for him. Nightmare, yeah, you're not wrong, man. Comienza mi penitencia. I would be crossing myself right now, but you guys can't even see it. But what's it called? This is a match that there's not a lot of history here, but there is going to be still some kind of subplots and some storylines here that you want to be aware of. The Galaxy obviously come out of preseason with a 4-1-1 record. They scored 15 goals and conceded 7. And then, of course, their one and only competitive match this year is that 1-1 draw against Sporting San Miguelito that we just told you all about. Gabriel Pecci led all the scorers in preseason with 3 goals, and Lucas Sanabria, JP, and Mateus Nascimento each had 2. NYCFC, for their part, they had 5 preseason matches. Ananda, they kicked off their preseason in La Florida in Tampa Bay, where they played the Rowdies and they tied them 2-2. On February 1st, they beat Austin 2-0, and on February 8th, they tied LAFC 1-1 in their first match at the CVI. Yes, they were at the CVI, so we saw those boys walking around. And in fact, Ananda, when I got pulled up to the CVI on Saturday, as it is a long drive, I went to the restroom pretty much after dropping off my stuff, and there was 4 NYCFC players in the restroom, and I was like, well, this is too many people in this restroom. I'm gonna just kind of wait my turn. But yes, the sports stars use the bathroom just like everybody else. But yeah, they were out there, and then their second match at the CVI, they lost to Sporting Kansas City 2-1. All right, Dayon. And then on Valentine's Day, they lost to the Quakes 2-0. They are pretty fortunate enough to have nobody out at the moment, no suspensions, nobody injured. The Galaxy, however, Ananda, Chris Rindolph, Eric Tommy, Zé Parente, Cerrillo suspended, and Winder still questionable. For you, is Cerrillo the biggest miss here amongst the peoples that are not available?
Yeah, I think so, but I'm okay with a double pivot of Hack and Sanabria, although we didn't get to see it today because obviously with the suspension, Greg wanted to make sure he fully utilized Edwin, so he played him for the 90 minutes today, and then we saw Cerrillo with Hack and then Cerrillo with Sanabria. It'll be interesting, Rob, to see on Sunday what a Hack and Lucas Sanabria partnership would look like, because I think that's what we're going to have in the middle as we talk about lineups here in a bit.
Well, let's talk about the lineup now then, since you brought it up. I think we're pretty much on the same page here for a lineup. Why don't you take it away?
Yeah, so guys, this is Rob's predicted 11. So he's going with the 4-2-3-1, starting with Niko Mitrovic at goalkeeper. So again, as we were saying, we think that Greg is going to utilize Mitrovic in the league and JT in the cup, which to me makes sense. Gives both keepers, enough of a run out there, and then let them battle it out for the rest of the season. If and when, hopefully it's after the final and the Galaxy win CCC. Wishful thinking. But anyways, let's let him battle it out. And I don't think the goalkeeper wars are there this year, Rob. I don't think that's a thing. I could be wrong, but I don't think that's the thing right now. But
you don't think that's a thing?
No, I don't think so. Unless we hear otherwise, I don't think it's a thing. Back 4 is Aude, Glesnes, Garces, and Mickey Yamane gets the start at right back. Hack and Sanabria, we talked about it, that double pivot in midfield. And then the 3-headed monster up top with Marco Royce in the middle. So the 3 DPs, Joseph Paintsil, Joao Klaus, and Gabriel Peck. Rob, Gabriel Peck did get a 90-minute run today. So will that affect his availability for Sunday? I don't think so. I hope not. But, by the way, are we getting a media availability from now until Sunday? I'm not sure. I'm asking.
I have to check with you. I don't believe so.
Okay.
I don't believe so.
So we won't hear anything before that. So it'll be interesting on game day, or if any reports come out, injury reports, etc.
Because they come back tomorrow. They fly back tomorrow.
Right.
So
Tomorrow.
And that's obviously a trip. Yeah. No, not tonight. They come back tomorrow. So that's obviously a trip. They're obviously not gonna get off the plane and then go train, right? I mean, or at least I don't think they will. So I don't think we're gonna have Greg before that.
Yeah. And then my lineup. Hey, what do you know? It's exactly the same. It's exactly the same. For once we agree. I didn't want to be a troublemaker this time, Rob, with my 4-4-2. But hey, Greg went with the 4-4-2 basically. I mean, Fatmom had as a 4-2-2-2. Come on, it's a 4-4-2. Come on, let's be real. It was a 4-4-2, and it, like I said, I was just not.
Nah, it was. I wasn't mad at the.
I wasn't mad at the hard formation. I wasn't mad at it looked more like a horseshoe formation at times because the Galaxy were passing it around like a horseshoe and not being incisive enough. In the
Oh,
midfield.
the burden of possession.
By the way, I do like the two like men up front in terms of like, did you feel like we were crossing the ball a little bit more? I felt like there was more crosses coming into the box.
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit.
At certain points. But again, that was
attempted crosses anyway.
Yeah, I probably need to look at the score sheet or at the stat sheet for the crosses. I'm kind of looking at it now, but I felt like that was the case. But again, it didn't lead to anything. Like your service has to be really good. Like I was hoping Cuevas would get at the end of, would throw in some of those like early crosses because he's really good at that. Again, wasn't his best day. I don't think he did some good things, but
he overcooked a bunch of the crosses. But
he overcooked like one or two, and I was like, "Ooh, that's so not like Mo."
Yeah, it's not like him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like you said, it wasn't his best day, but I think that's the kind of game you learn from.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I mean, no surprises. Like I even mentioned it when we talked about the lineup for San Miguelito. Like I thought that Greg would have used the 4-4-2 there, and then for this lineup, for this match, he would use this strong lineup, the 4-2-3-1 with Marco at the 10. I mean, I think that on paper, that's what everyone's expecting. That's probably the Galaxy's like most. I don't know if it's the most balanced or the most. It feels like it's the most attacking because Royce is playing that floating role. But again, like this game for me understated that like if you're gonna play the 4-4-2, like you still need to be composed and clinical in the final third. And I'm hoping that on Sunday, like Marco Royce's addition at the number 10 from minute 0 or minute 1 will inject that composure, right? It will unlock. He can unpick the lock. He can find his guys. Like Joao Klaus can throw his body around and be a nuisance to clear up space and make space for JP and Gabby Peck. So that's what I'm hoping that it turns out to be, but we'll see how this works out on Sunday.
Yeah, and if that's indeed the lineup that we get, you would expect that front line to be dangerous, and you would expect there to be those chances that were kind of missing today. On the other side, for NYCFC, I mean, their homegrown keeper is one of the people that steal the headlines for them. Of course, I'm talking about Matt Freese, U.S. men's national team keeper in contention to be the number one, really, at this year's World Cup. And then, of course, you have returning striker Dallas Magno. He's been on loan a couple times, but when he has been in NYCFC, he's banked in a couple of nice goals. Nicolas Fernandez, of course, Argentino on the wing, Agostino Heda on the other wing, and then the eternal Maxi Morales. I mean, I had to double check on this guy, but yeah, I think he's 36 now, and he's still playing, man, and he's still got that quality. I mean, it'll be fun because if I understand correctly, NYCFC plays something similar to a 4-2-3-1, and Maxi Morales plays as the 10. So you're going to have a 36-year-old Marco Royce as the 10 on one side, and then Maxi Morales as a 36-year-old number 10 on the other side. It should be for a fun game. I don't know if you're going to get like a fast game because of those two, but you should get real moments of quality. So those are the ones to watch for on NYCFC. Of course, their newest signing, Kai Troen, they kind of face a Justin Hack dilemma with him. Is he a better defender or midfielder? But he just came in highly touted for them. Ananda, let's go ahead and answer the most important question that we usually have at the end of these game previews. And chat, really quickly, start dropping your game predictions for that NYC FC match on Sunday. Start dropping those game predictions. Do it. And then for you, Ananda, for the Galaxy to win this match, they have to...
I think based off of today's match, actually, no, I'm gonna make a bigger because I was thinking more tactically, because really we just needed to finish our chances today. So I was gonna say that, but you know what, Rob, I'm gonna say this, and I'm gonna say for the Galaxy to win, they need to set the tone. We talked about the first game of the season being a tone setter, right? And maybe I'm putting too much stock into game one, but you've seen over the past 2 seasons that we've covered this team, how game one, completely sets the trajectory for the team, right? Against Miami, it was, we didn't know what we were going to get out of the LA Galaxy. Like, we had just signed 2 new DPs, and, we had Ricky Puig, and we knew it was going to be a good team, but we just didn't know how it was going to come together. And in game 1 against Miami that we should have won, the Galaxy made a statement. They set the tone. And unfortunately, the year after we won MLS Cup, they set the tone completely the other way and, dropped the ball against a San Diego team that, again, we didn't know what to expect, but clearly they ended up being a good team. But it's like the Galaxy just weren't ready for that match. So can they set the tone early? Can they, come out the gates in the first 20, 30 minutes, maybe get a goal or maybe not, but just like show us that like, hey, like, this Galaxy team's for real. Like, we're getting into every challenge. You see the heart, you see the desire, you see what we're trying to do out there. And, can we set that tone and get a result? Like, because if we want the Dicks to be a fortress, we have to set the tone. Now, the funny thing is, and we'll talk about predictions, like, does that mean that the Galaxy need to win? Well, I'll get there. But I think that more than anything, they just need to set the tone. And I think the fans will react to that as well if they see that type of performance. Like, I want to see a performance from this team.
Maybe it's just that I listen to Bob Marley too much, but I think they just need to play free, man. They didn't look like they were free tonight. I mean, they looked like they were very much thinking about the fact that they were the favorites, that they had this pressure on them. And I they shouldn't. They were a better team on paper. Like, they should be able to go out and execute and take care of Sporting San Miguelito. So that's what I want to see against NYCFC. I want them to go out and play free, there were glimpses of this team at its highest peak, where you saw those quick interchanges and people running off of each other, and they would get those chances. If they can do that for at least a half, I think they'll be successful. But you only get to that when you can trust your teammates and have fun while you're playing your footy, man. I mean, this, like, we talk about it all the time, right? It's a kid's game. I mean, have fun out there, play free, and I think they'll find success through that. I mean, they all know the system. They all, as long as they're working hard, man, I think they'll be successful. But so if I had to boil it down again, just play free.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think that they can play free, but they need to play with discipline. Like, they need to.
Oh no, of course.
They need to make sure that, like, they balance that, like, freedom with discipline, with compactness. Like, whether we start or whether we attack or defend with it, for sure defend. Like, Greg likes to set his set defense at a 4-4-2, so that gives us the most balanced setup. That eliminates sort of counterattack transitions. Like, we saw a couple of those transition moments too. It's the setup that helps us be the most balanced. So I think in the final third, I think we do need to be a little more free and play with the extra creativity, maybe, create those numerical and time advantages that Greg always talks about. But on the flip side, we need to be disciplined, right? We need to be disciplined. Well, why are you laughing?
I'm cracking up at Commercial Underground. Play free. Everybody except Goddesses. Yeah, okay. I'll concede you that one. I'll concede you that one.
Touche.
Yes. My parcero needs to maintain maximum.
It's that composure, man. Like, that's what I'm saying. See, this is what I'm saying. The freedom, but you've got to balance it with discipline, composure, right? Especially as a defender, like, tactically now, you need to be smart.
I think he's the only one really, though, that you're gonna be like, maybe you keep yourself in check, like,
yeah. Well, Edwin, well, he's not playing in this game, but Edwin's known to throw his body around as well. Lucas sometimes throwing some rash challenges, but yeah, not the level of Emmy.
He got a quick yellow tonight, Lucas. So I mean, you may have something there.
Yeah.
All right. Are there any betting odds for the evening? Did you and Dr. Raquinho get together after your bitter fight and make up for the greater good and bring us those betting odds?
We did. So you see it on the page there. It's interesting, Rob. Galaxy at a +140, but NYCFC at a +155. Like, there's not that much of a difference there, and the draw is at a +260. So I couldn't pull up what the percentages were, but I mean, they're giving like almost an equal shot for both, which is really interesting to me. I want to say that's like I'm not even going to try the percentage on that one, but it's it's interesting that it's close. Like it's closer than you would think for a home opener, right? So, and maybe that has something to do with like, look, NYCFC were a good team last year. Obviously, they made it to the Eastern Conference. Finals, right, against Miami?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, I mean, granted, Alonso Martinez isn't there. He's still down with an ACL injury. You talked about that. But yeah, it's like, can they? Number one, can they replace? Can they cover up or make up for the loss of Justin Hack, who was a big part of their year last year? And then, of course, you talked about Thais Magno to see if he can be, the DP attacker instead of the injured Alonso. So,
let's ruminate on this Joe 13 Cool comment real quick. Everyone gets a lot of fair criticism, but also my man can't get a stable partner going in the middle, so he can't get overextended both ways. Fair. I mean, he's another player that could benefit from stability. And he hasn't had it. He has a rotating cast of partners. Does Vanney prioritize the NY game or the San Miguelito game?
Which one? The second San Miguelito game, I'm assuming? Or the
the second one. I would say I think they got to go all in on this home opener, right? Because
I agree.
You said it, and maybe that's not the term I use, but yeah, that tone setter of getting that home opener win. I mean, you can't half-ass both. You can't, but you can play to the best of your ability in both for sure. And I think the Galaxy has enough players enough depth to put out a quality lineup in both. Let's see here, Ananda. You did some betting odds, so it's prediction time. And since I went first on that
remember chat. Rob goes first. Remember chat. Let's remind Rob that he goes first. By the way, chat, drop those score predictions in there. We want to pull them up. We want to hear what you're thinking.
And since Ananda is forcing me to go first cruelly, go ahead and drop those game predictions in. Go ahead and drop those game predictions in their chat. And while you're dropping those in there, yes, I will go ahead and go on record and give you the first game prediction here this year on La Cuna Galaxiana, and I'm going for a 2-1 Galaxy win.
Okay, yeah. Feeling good. Feeling good.
Yeah. You know what? I like I said, today was expected, but I also think that they're going to play in a different way. The game is going to play out differently as well. So I think they get that 2-1 win.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna go 3-1. Just because I think that if Greg starts with the 4 guys up top that we set in our lineup, in our predicted lineup, which is the 3 DPs along with Marco Royce, I think that's gonna bode well for the Galaxy attack. I think just today we just didn't have it in the final third. I think Klaus and Royce brings that added composure, that clinical, whether it's in the incisive pass or at least freeing up someone or finishing it themselves, which is I'm talking about in the case of Joao Klaus now. I think that should raise the level of the Galaxy's attack. The only thing I'm concerned about is like today, man, like just defensive lapses that'll allow us to give up a goal. I mean, I may even change my prediction to 3-2. But I feel like there's going to be goals both ways. Let's put it that way. And this is going to be not cagey. I think it's going to be like going back and forth. Like both teams are going to have their periods of dominance, but the Galaxy's at home. The crowd, I think, is going to, excuse my pun, but G 'em up. Like they're really going to help raise sort of like the intensity of the match, hopefully. So guys, like get out there early and cheer for your team, because they'll definitely need it in the home opener.
A lot of good stuff is going on.
And a lot of good stuff is going on. So hopefully you guys are there and cheering on your team. But yeah, I think that the home piece of this is going to help. And I am expecting good weather, right, Rob? I don't think it's raining this Saturday. So I think
it's decent weather. Yeah.
Weather-wise, we're in the clear. It's probably going to be like 60, 70 degrees.
I think it's like mid-70s or something like that.
With a little bit of that ocean marine layer. So it should be a good night for footy. And yeah, I'm going, I'll change it. I'll go 3-2. How about that?
3-2. All right. Well, let's take it to the streets and let's see what the folks say, and then we'll hit this.
Because the streets don't lie.
Yeah, because the streets don't lie. Shout out again. And then we'll hit this super chat from El Hermano Chris.
Yes,
let's hit these. La Habra says Galaxy 1-0 NYCFC.
Oof.
Thank you, La Habra. Shout outs.
I'm gonna be so nervous for that.
Says G's 3-1. Start the season right.
I like it.
Agree. That would be beautiful. Nightmare says 3-2 with 2 goals called back by VAR. That sounds about right. That's how the Galaxy usually gets done. Daniel ZZ says 1-1. And I think this is the first time I've seen Daniel in here as well. If it's not, like,
welcome.
Welcome in, Daniel. We appreciate it. Then we have E-Super with another 1-1. Okay. It's at least it's not a loss. What else we got? We got Bolt Fanatic, another newbie, I think. Welcome, Bolt Fanatic. 2-1 Galaxy, baby.
Repping the 2-1-3. There you go.
That's exactly what I called the 2-1. So great minds think alike. I think that's what we have for predictions and all. I think, I didn't really see any losses in there, so at least people are feeling good. People are feeling positive.
Home opener, got to feel positive, man. Like,
right.
I would be a little worried if you were going into this like, oh man, the G's don't look good. Like, look, I think what Rob said was right in that, like, at least for him it was expected. I think for me, I called like a 2-0 away win at San Miguelito, but I think if that was expected, then the expectation for the home opener should be like, obviously the Galaxy's strongest lineup in their more preferred formation. Maybe there's a little bit more familiarity there. But like I said, I think you're going to look at guys like Joao Klaus and Marco Royce to really do damage against the NYC defense, and just hope that, again, like we've been saying for the San Miguelito reaction, like, we've got to be clinical in that final third. And an early goal counts. Like, I feel like an early goal would really, really help the Galaxy go on their way for a victory that night. So, yeah, man, let's hope we see it. Let's hope we see it.
Yeah, and Chris has the A-Craze comment about if worse comes to worse, but also we want to say thank you to Chris for his super chat, $5 super chat, and thank you, gracias, muchas gracias. He says, we have the players. At what point do we point the finger at Vanney if our first 5 games don't go in a positive route? I think you gotta have to assess after like 10 games, man. I mean, obviously, like, Wilfred Nancy did not get those 10 games at a
how many games did he get? He got like
4, 5.
Yeah, 5. I want to say 5, right?
Yeah, I want to say 5. Yeah, I want to say 5. So, I mean, is it fair to say 5? I don't know. I mean, is 5 fair?
Well, let's put it this way. Let's put it this way. If he goes winless in 5,
ooh,
I think
long, Greg. Come on.
Well, no, I think if we go winless in 5, I think the fans have the right to have the conversation. Let me put it that way. Now, that's not saying he's gonna go, but I'm just saying the fans have the right to now have that conversation and be nervous, because winless in 5, Papa. Like, I mean, I'm expecting a 9-10 point start, right? Like 3-1-1. That was my prediction. 3-1-1.
I called 10 to 12 points from the first 5 matches. So if in fact in the first 5 matches, they go win this, then what's that classic meme from Grand Theft Auto? Ah, shit, here we go again. Yeah, man. Like, if it starts popping off like that again, I think it needs to start around game 5, like, being questioned. Okay, like, what's our contingency plan? Is it actually viable? And if it doesn't change, like, make a quick switch. But I
really don't expect it to go there, honestly. Like, honestly, I think there's just too much quality on this team. I think the guys will figure it out. Like I said, I think today was just, I don't know. It just maybe was the elements. Obviously, we're playing a mix of youth and experience, and I expect the G's again with the crowd. I think the crowd is really going to help lift them. I think they want to right the wrongs of last year, especially in the league. So I expect him to go out guns blazing on Sunday.
Nightmare on one tonight. I love it. If he goes 14 winless games in a row, that is an improvement from last season.
LOL.
Low for sure. So yeah, man. I mean, we hit up the predictions. I mean, it is unfortunate that the first game of the season wasn't a win, but at least it wasn't a loss. That is all to play for in the second leg. And yeah, I mean, it could be worse. I mean, the Galaxy last year started the campaign in Champions Cup with a loss to Herediano, so they are doing a little bit better. They have that vital away goal, and then they have an opportunity this weekend to put everything to rights with the win at home in their home opener. Ananda, before we wrap this one up, do you have anything else to add?
Chat, just thanks for hanging out with us. This is kind of our first time doing this like instant reaction. Obviously we normally do streams on a Thursday, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. By the way, if you guys missed the live look-in from the presser in Panama with head coach Greg Vanney, go ahead and rewind to the very, very beginning of this video right after the intro. So about 1:30, you should find the presser there, and you can hear Greg's post-match thoughts live. And if you guys enjoy that, give us some feedback. I know we've had a couple people in chat talk about it already, so we will keep doing that for you guys as much as we can for away games in particular. And of course, as Rob said in the beginning of the show, for home games, we will be live at Dignity Health Sports Park right after full time, giving you the live match presser from Dignity Health Sports Park. So yeah, super excited to bring all you guys that. And nothing left to say for me. Just want to say, like I said, a big thank you. And we need a win on Sunday. That's all I want. That's all I want.
Commercial Underground rightly calling me out. At least it wasn't a loss. Feels like 2025. You're not wrong. But then again, I like I said, I knew what I was getting into today. I knew I was expecting this kind of game. So yeah, E-Super1 says I need a big win. It would be great to write that headline, E-Super, like Galaxy Open 2026 with a commanding 6-1 victory or something like that. That would be just the bee's knees. Chris, thank you so much for the compliment, man. You have Ananda just doing his thing, editing those minutos. So shout out to him as well. Guys, let's go ahead and bring it on this one to a close. We gave you our game preview. So then on Monday, February 23rd, we're bringing you our game match reaction from that NYCFC match. No matter what happens, win, lose, or draw, we will be back with you here on Monday to either console you or celebrate with you, but we're going to be doing it together. And then on Thursday, should I tell him who it is? Should I tell him who it is? Should I drop it on him?
Dale.
Y'all know this man named Joe Tutino, the voice of the LA Galaxy, the great one himself, the man we love so much. He'll be here on Thursday, February 26th.
Yes, sir.
It'll be a good time to get him as well, because we'll have at that point 3 LA Galaxy matches under our belt. We'll know if the Galaxy have qualified for the next round of the Champions Cup, which would be in Jamaica. So Ananda, we might be going out to Jamaica. Y'all don't want to see me in Jamaica. Anyway, hopefully we can bring you Joe Tutino talking about the Galaxy qualifying to the next round and what he's seen in the season so far. But in any case, we will be here with that wonderful gentleman making time for us once again, and we want to say thank you ahead of time, and we want to say thank you guys ahead of time for being here with us. Oh, Chris says 4 more subs to 800.
I was gonna say, guys, really quick, if you have not subscribed, help us get to 800 before the season opener. That would be amazing. And by the way, since we don't want to undo our promises, remember, we've got I think 1 or 2 copies of Arquitekto's clear vinyl that he has to give away, guys. So as soon as we hit 800 subs, we are going to give that away, a piece of limited edition Arquitekto Verbal vinyl. You better get it before he gets a Grammy nomination, and before Rob and I are just like, damn, son, he made it. That, like, before we go like that, go ahead and get that vinyl, guys.
Yeah, no, it's pretty awesome because Big Will Kuntz just walks up to Arquitekto and I was like, yeah, man, I heard your stuff, and I'm like, man, that's awesome, right? And hopefully he does mess with us when he gets his Grammy. You guys heard him at the top of the show, another banger track, and yeah, let's bring it on home, man. It's nerves ahead of Sunday, but I've been on this positive tip, guys, and I really believe that you should all go in a positive tip as well. Again, CONCACAF Champions Cup, different competition than the league. It's played a different way, and you're going to find a different kind of match on Sunday against NYCFC. Everybody needs to go in, rep real hard for your city. Do what you do, LA. And Ananda, anything else to add before we get on out of here?
There's only one thing left to say other than, guys, hope to see you on Sunday. Stay safe. If you see Rob or myself and you don't have a sticker, bug us for one. Absolutely, get a slap. And hopefully you guys stay safe and enjoy a Galaxy win. I'm talking into existence, Rob. And now there's only one thing left to say.
Oh, well, that's two things left to say. I will see y'all in the goddamn mosh pit when Cienfuegos is playing. I will see y'all down there. And then one last thing left to say is Jesus.